Hey everybody, Warren here, and welcome to week 2, International Business. This picture here is a picture from Okinawa, Japan, small island south of Japan, main island. But back in my army days, I was stationed there for a few years. So anyway, that's just a picture of Okinawa. But anyway, jumping in here to week 2, week 1 down. Those of you that are in here and active, doing very good. So that a few of you might be in my other class too, and you're doing well. So there's not much I can really say. Just keep doing what you're doing. Um, like I said, good job on the quizzes, the homework, and the discussions last week. So I'm just going to jump up here to week 2. This upcoming week, you got your discussion. Uh, and one thing is the World Trade Organization. So you're going to have to click on here and and I'll take you to the WTO website and kind of just give it a read over, and it tells you what the organization does. A lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about that organization, but just share what you think, and and let me see here. You don't have to do, you don't have to do 3, 4 paragraphs. It says here, but you do at least a paragraph that kind of explains, basically what the organization is. So, all right. So with that, that'll be the discussion, and then you got the quiz. You also have the reaction paper, which that you did last week. It's just you go over and review what you learned in the 3 chapters. So, that should be about 3 paragraphs, short paragraphs, but just what you did on each one. And you got one extra thing starting this week is a current event paper. All right, so and here you're going to pick a current event that has to do with international business, and about 200 words. So, less than a page, half page, or 1 or 2 paragraphs. It doesn't have to be long, but it needs to be current, and some dealing with international business. So those are your assignments this week. On your weekly presentations, we have chapters 4, 5, and 6. Chapter 4 covers, and move that over there. Ethics. So ethics is a big issue internationally, because you're dealing with cultures and practices and different things like that. So so one of the things you got to remember in here, like in some other classes I mentioned, is the terminology, definitions, the concepts behind it, and so forth. So there's a lot of things that go into international trade, and when you start getting into the ethical side of it, corruption and different things like that. So that's what this chapter covers. Chapter 5. Whoops. Chapter 5. Okay, that covers the international trade theory, international trade itself. A lot of debate over trade. A lot of the downside of the international trade issue is like when factories here in the States close down, there's different issues there. And there's also versus how many jobs are created because of trade. So there's a lot of debate on that. But trade historically, and if you're looking strictly at numbers, trade is good, and it creates a competition. I don't know if any of you ever had the experience of dealing with some business that has very high prices, and the only reason they have those high prices is because they're the only game in town. I know kind of a semi-personal example of where my mother-in-law lives here in Missouri. It's a pretty big town. It's outside of St. Louis, but because of where it is at, CenturyLink is the only, what do you want to call it? Like phone company for landline phones in that area. So you can't get AT&T or some other landline. So they charge $90 a month for a landline. Same thing with the cable, because of where they're at. They charge almost twice as much as if you go a mile down the road, and the same company charges half that much. So you can get $40, $50 cable, but for them it's $90. So that's still alive and well here in the U.S. But that's why trade's important. That's why competitive trade is important. So you don't have people doing that. Back when they had Hurricane Katrina, you heard these people selling generators for $1,000. you know, $200 generator they sold for 1,000. You know, things like that. So that's where you get into trade and why trade is important versus just, oh, we can be the only one that sells it. You know. So anyway, so that enough on that one. And then the last chapter has to do with, okay, the politics. All right, so. And that, again, that has a lot to do with ethics and other things, but also things like the tariffs and import taxes, export taxes, things like that. You know, and you can get into tax wars. You know, back in the 70s when like Toyota started importing, you know, they had higher tariffs, and even with the higher tariffs, the Toyotas were still cheaper than the American cars. You know, so I mean that, but those are meant as sometimes as a penalty or a way to help offset trade or sales and so forth. So depending on what the situation is, there's a lot that goes into it. But anyway, so that's what this chapter covers about. All right. And let me see. So I covered that, and that. I'll say so. This is going to be a short one because from what I've seen, those of you that are in here, you're doing great. So just keep doing what you're doing, and if you need anything, get in touch. As always, I get back pretty quick to you. And I showed you that picture at the beginning of Okinawa Beach there. But this one here, you just mentioned this picture, and that way I know you watched the video. This is my my youngins here on the beach in Okinawa. So, all right. So with that, we will call it quits for this week. And if you got anything, get in touch. Otherwise, I'll see you later down the week here or next week. So have a great week. Bye.